Questers, 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 Yalpelor, 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 questers.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Good evening, and also thematic for tonight. Welcome everyone to Questers
Oh,
of Yalpelor. Oh, you only
You
just
just
got
realized that
Yeah.
the song was Matt?
no, I just realized that it was thematic for tonight.
Yes.
After-
Questers of
my-
Yalpelor is a weekly online improvised adventure game comedy show. My name is Itamar, and this is Sprat, my cat, who's gonna get off the desk right now. I'm your host and game master, and he interrupts me and causes trouble.
Okay.
Except for me and Sprat, there's three hilarious actors from all over the world. Haven't
Does
changed that.
Inmar not count as a fourth hilarious improviser? Well, fourth improviser.
I mean, I am a hilarious improviser. It's true, and I am from all over the world. But I think that I have an elevated status in this context, and I have a different role.
Sign up for this.
A different role.
Yeah, here I was thinking we're all equals, and no, as it turns out, Itamar has, visions
Nuh-uh.
of grandeur and
Nope.
glory.
Nope. I am the decider. So the correct number is myself, the game master, plus 3 hilarious improvisers and actors, which will be changed in the text till next week. I promise. I just noticed that. I've invited them to play a game with me and travel through the lands of Yalpelor. They're playing their characters tonight, which are, in order, Grubble Bumblin Esquire, played by Matt. Grubble is a quarterling bubblemancer desperately seeking to reclaim his family fortune. We have Jada playing the character of Triss, a nebulous summoning who's only recently gained sentience, now gleefully exploring life in Yalpelor with her new friends. We have Talia playing Aklis Darkmoor, traveling Death Knight with an ancestral sword and lots of family history. These are our heroes, but they're not just going to play these characters. Each one has their own character like any other game, but they are also allowed, invited, and encouraged to flesh out new details in the game world, play other characters, do unexpected things that I did not plan, and all in all make my life as Game Master harder and more chaotic than it would otherwise be.
But fun and happy.
Yes. You can also...
Now that we're in our second year, can we change our intro descriptions to reflect how much our characters have grown?
I mean, I think...
Gribble Bumblin, a somewhat flexible quarterling who is
Yeah, right.
already attempting to get money all over Yalpelor. Will he succeed? We don't know, but his bag of holding continues.
True, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm totally gonna rewrite it.
maybe not in so many words, but yes, definitely we should change the character intros. That's right. I think we can mark maybe the upcoming level up that's gonna come very very soon. We can mark it with changing the wording a little bit. I think it makes
But
sense.
I've done no character development.
Well, I hope that you've learned your lesson.
Aklis v. Darkmoor. Exactly the same person as he
As always.
Not true. The last episode, they stumbled, but they did say the word friends.
That's true. That's true.
I'm allowed
Making
to say
friends
the word
all
friend.
over the place.
And in fact, now you don't even complain that much when Triss stares at you while you sleep. That's development.
That's it. That's it. The gates have been opened. All right, so you you can scroll down and look at the commands.
Oh, I appreciate Twitch, Talia. They're like, but you can. You've totally grown. You can hit more people now.
You do more damage. Yeah.
More damage.
You have so much more damage.
More hit points.
Just add the words now with more damage. on the end of your character description.
Now with even more power and just as much responsibility.
Aklis Darkmoor, a traveling death knight with 4 attacks and some family history and stuff.
Also I'm wearing cool armor that continues to grow and change, and the talking sword. I mean,
Oh, that's true.
Talk about Transformer.
That is big development. That's true. Big armor energy. All right. Cool. So you can also use the commands, you the viewers who are watching us live, you can scroll down and look at your options below the video. You can also scroll down and see all the cool, awesome people whose stuff we are using. Art and sounds, sound effects, music, whatever. Some of these stuff are just free on the web. Some of them are fans or people that we've commissioned. Anyway, just scroll down, look, just click through to the links and look at their stuff for yourself, and maybe you'll want to use it for your own games at home. We highly recommend each and every one of the things that are featured in the Awesome People section. I think that is it. Yeah, I think for tonight we've said enough, we've rambled enough. It is time for a word from our sponsor.
Good evening. I am Divine. I heard it on Divine. And I'm here to tell you about divination. You don't know what to do with your life? Oh. Well, why not take a divination course? You'll find out what you're doing with your life, and then you'll be able to help others find out what they're going to do with their lives. Divination, the most highly respected magical school. Yes?
So I'm an anthropologist. Would this be the right magical career path for me?
Divination, as opposed to anthropology. Yeah.
It feels like a very similar playing field.
No, divination is like business studies. It's kind of boring, but you always end up with a job at the end.
Good point. All right, thank you very much,
Something
Divine.
like bubblemancy. That's for anthropologists.
But
You'll never
I
get
heard
them
bubblemancy
anywhere.
is actually like really usable and
No, bubblemancy is archaic and it'll never get you anywhere.
I think I'll stick with sparkmancy.
With what? With what, Mancy?
Sparkmancy, very wide.
Or no, you know what I know? I know exactly where I'm going to go then. Meteorology.
Don't get us started.
Excellent.
Don't get us started on meteorology.
Ooh.
All right.
You could also try magnetism.
And
Great
mathemagic.
for
How about
moving metals
mathemagic?
around.
Should I go into mathemagic?
Yes, I mean some people do, but you'd have to be quite strange to become a mathematician.
I've always just thought that my true path was going to be yogic.
I love that one. Can we write that one down somewhere?
What was that? How do I spell?
Yogic.
Yogic.
We added yogic and
Matt takes
magnetism.
full credit. We've added.
No, because I was saying the second one, we've added yogic and magnetism.
That's true. That's true. Man, yogic's so
Magnetism is...
Magnetism. Just put two G's or something.
Yeah, like that.
Maybe like a G
Magnetism.
with a thingy on top. What do you call the thingy?
A comma, an
Umlaut?
accent.
They don't go on
Umlaut
G.
is the two dots. I'm talking about the squiggly, the squiggle.
You mean the one in that's in Spanish?
Yeah.
Like an A.
Magnetism?
Magnetism.
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 Mm-hmm.
I think magnetism or magnetism. It almost needs to be like a J, like Madge. Rhymes with.
I will send it to our experts to figure it out at some point during the week. Yeah. All right. Perfect. After this belabored intro, I think we're ready to begin. We know exactly what our characters are about tonight because they had a very specific goal. So it has been added to the list of goals, and it was according to Dirt's request. Last time we found out that the chaos creatures, who were in fact you from the future,
No, they weren't.
who were in
Or
claim,
alternate universe.
Still debatable.
in claim
Yeah,
you from the
that's-
future.
It's a possible future, but
Yeah.
it's also probably not.
They left behind some residue that did not completely disappear. There was some dust, and Chesterling, as he was inviting you back to the city as heroes, also sampled some of the dust from all four of you.
I want to disagree. I think Rebel took him exactly to where the dust was and was like, "Have
I
you
didn't
ever
know
seen
it was-
dust."
I didn't know demigod dust was dangerous at the time, alright?
It's Chesterling. You have to see something.
And then he went away. And after that, Dirt, when he found that out, he said it might be dangerous because some of the powers that are after him might also be after any kind of remains from any other version of Dirt. So it might cause trouble. And you were convinced to go into the palace and one way or another get back the dirt dust. That sounds.
The dirty
Oh
dust.
yeah.
That doesn't
Which
sound.
means, ladies and gentlemen,
Just a bunch of
tonight
dirty
on
dust.
Yalpelor, it's the Yelp heist.
Yes. So we begin tonight.
Heisters.
Heisters of Yalpelor.
We begin tonight. We begin
Have
this
our own Halloween heist.
special episode of Heisters of Yalpelor, where you are all sitting down together. It's a room with wooden walls and ceiling, wooden beams above you. The lighting is insufficient, and lots of shadows are dancing on the walls from a few oil lamps hanging around you. There's some voices, muffled voices, coming in behind some of the walls, and the ground is covered in straw, and you are there in your own little stall, your own little booth, scheming and talking about your next steps. Go ahead. Let's start right now.
Right, so the palace has two main entrances. One main entrance and then the one out the back.
Right, and also there's a guard's entrance at the side.
But we know the guards. We could even be the guards. We could be guards.
And there's also the sewers, so we can perhaps access through there.
I bet there's also tunnels or the moat. I bet we could get through the moat or the tunnel. We could ride an alligator.
So if we were gonna go in through the back entrance, we could be like chefs and cooks and bringing in food supplies.
Where would we get food supplies?
Oh, and also I don't think, Backless, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. You don't look much like a chef. Let's scrap this plan.
Oh, I have an idea. What if we say we have to talk to Chester and that you have something very important to show him or them, but we do it when we know that he's not in the palace. And then they put us in a waiting room and we break out of the waiting room and then we break into his stuff.
That's interesting.
That's
We're right
an
back.
easy way in, but if Chesterling comes back and sees some of his stuff missing, he would ask, has anyone been around? And then they would tell him, yes, your questers have been here.
Oh, but I know what we do for that.
What?
We do have a pile of me dust that I've got here that's considerably less valuable than dirty dust.
We do,
So,
but
could
you know
just
what I
flip
have?
through?
You know what I have?
What do you have?
What do you have?
I have Miracle Grow dirt. And it looks more like dirt. We could just fill a vial with dirt. But it's not dirt. It's just dirt.
But dirt and dust look different, whereas I've actually got dust.
But do we want to leave him with any of you? I feel like that's not good either.
Well, as far as I knew, the only problem was that dirt's dust. No?
Yeah, but he wanted any kind of dust. He said that it was all chaos, which means you were also chaos. But the dust looks like normal dust. So what if we just dusted?
I mean, he already knows there's some kind of magical powers on it.
We could just put like a little bit.
Oh, well, that's true. Dilute it. Dilute it in the Miracle Grow. That might work. But we use my dust, not dirt's. Apparently, even a little bit of dirt could be dangerous.
And we don't have to use the Miracle Grow. You're probably right. But there's plenty of dust here. Isn't there, Miracle?
Yeah. Why does no one ever clean up Marigold's stable? Is my question.
I think we should take her away from the palace. It's not very healthy.
Oh, that's right. We're in the actual palace stables, aren't we?
This is
So-
all planning the heist.
Right.
You're-
In part of the palace.
You're planning the heist inside the palace. I love
You're
that.
the dumbest.
I absolutely love it.
Oh, God.
I was thinking, what if we made like a thing that looks like Triss but is not Tris, and we put it on Atlas's shoulder, and then we went to talk to Chesterling and distracted Chesterling while the real Tris does the switch.
I could do that.
So now we need to figure out two things. One, how to make a fake Tris, and two, how to get Tris to be properly actually sneaky.
You know what we could do? Don't forget, Dirt gave me Lohi. We could just paint Lohi black, and you could say that I was mimicking and playing Lohi.
This is an absolutely brilliant idea. Now we just have to paint Lohi black. This is genius. Right, we can get something like some soot or something and coat Lohi in that.
Soot. Where you get soot from?
Well, I mean that or
A
paint.
fireplace?
The
In
thing
the
is,
stables?
We need it to stick.
There are some loose wooden chips and pieces on the ground.
We could. What do I have in my? Oh,
I've still got my lantern, or did I use it for something? I can burn some wood chips. Yeah, I've got my lantern and oil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm out of oil in my lantern, but I can use.
Wait! The DM may or may not have just said that there's lanterns everywhere.
You've just used the oil right now, right? You're not
Right, but you mentioned earlier as you were describing the space that there were lanterns around.
Yes.
So I'll take some more oil to replace this oil.
Sure.
How much oil do I get?
You can actually pour from a couple of lanterns that are not lit right now into your own and replenish it completely, so a D8 of oil.
Fantastic. Right, and we'll use the flame from my lantern.
Oh, well, we're in a stable. There's polish everywhere.
Right. Because they polish the leather on the saddles. You're both muted.
I'm just like, Tris is way more intelligent than they're supposed to be on this episode.
Right, so I've refilled my lantern, and there's black polish. Can we find some black polish to coat Lohi?
Black polish. I will let you find black polish in the stables, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, wait! Should we roll for it? Like, should I go hunting?
What is the time in the day? Because we've now accidentally established that you're in the castle already, I kind of need to know what time is it.
It's early evening, isn't it?
Sure.
Early evening?
Depends.
Maybe we tell you
Have
what
we rested? Have I got my hit points back?
You can have waited. You could have. Yeah, I mean, there was talk about maybe he'll already do something with the dust if you wait a whole day. So.
Oh yeah.
We weren't waiting. We weren't waiting at all because we had.
Yeah, that's right. Chris was too.
If you were going straight there, it's like afternoon.
Right. Okay, so it's afternoon.
And that means that when you got in the palace, you said hi to the guards and asked to go in to see your horse, and they saw you walk in.
Yeah.
All right, sure. No problem. So it's afternoon. There are still people around, awake, walking around, doing their jobs, their duties in the castle.
Why do you say it like that?
What do I say? What, like what?
Why do you say there are people around, awake? Like, we're supposed to catch a hint or something.
Aren't there always going to be people awake in a palace? Isn't that like their job?
So the palace is never completely empty. There's always some servant going around emptying somebody's chamber pot, but it's not. It's definitely much less crowded at night. Right now, there's still people working. They're preparing dinner. They're tending to.
Wouldn't that be the
higher-ups.
perfect time? Because then if everyone, I mean, I'm talking not as Tris, I'm talking to me. Wouldn't that be the perfect time though? Because evening would be, it's more obvious when there's strangers, but in the afternoon when there's lots of people coming in and out and servants and people talking or whatever.
Sure, of course. The plan will have to be a bit different, but there's definitely an advantage in being surrounded by people when you're doing clandestine work. Of course, it's not completely out of the question. I'm just describing it so you know what the conditions are.
I have an idea of something we can do to keep Chesterling busy.
What is it?
is we can ask him to divine some more quests for us, like he did the first time we met him, and that takes a bit of time and energy and concentration. While he's doing that, he can't pay attention to other stuff.
That's a good idea, yes.
Now that we're going by this new title, I'm sure he'll want us to want to be seen like working with us. I don't know. I think we can get him very busy on divination. And then Tris can do the dust switch. Is there? Can we fill a jar with dust? Because I've got the what did I put it in? I've got a thing full of my own dust.
Well, I mean, shouldn't I put dirt into something else and then put the other dust into the original dust so that the tube, so that he knows that the tube is the same and he doesn't look too closely?
Yes, I agree.
Right. Yep. Smart.
All right.
But
So
I'm gonna need something to put dirt in.
Right. Container.
I mean, so we'll have to, go through the kitchens and get a jar.
It's a good idea. So, the plan is, go to the kitchens, get a jar.
Yes.
Go to the guards, ask to meet Chesterling.
Yes.
Then Tris sneaks off.
Well, because I'm gonna have to hide somewhere, right? Like, you're gonna have to take me in, but I'm gonna have to hide somewhere, like, be dropped off. But do we know, where's the safe?
We don't know where he's keeping it, for sure.
So then how am I gonna know where to hide?
It could be in the study, where he always meets us. That could be where he does his turn. But he might have another room.
Or should we go to talk to Chesterling and ask him about the dust and say we need to check something, and then he shows us where it is, and then we know where it is, and then we come back later and steal it?
I have an idea regarding that.
Right.
I still have... No, wait, maybe we've already... Sorry, I have a shit memory. I have this witch's cauldron. Did I show it to Chesterling at any point?
Don't think so.
Not Chesterling. You showed it to the pond dude.
haven't you?
Oh, no, the pond dude. You showed it to the Sparkmancer, I think.
Yes.
Oh, right, it's true. You haven't sold it yet. You still have it.
Yeah. So, what if we ask Chesterling for help with the cauldron? Asking what it is, what it does, how it can be used. And then, perhaps, he'll take us into his laboratory or whatever it is he has.
Right. I like that.
I mean, there is also an easy solution. He could just show us the dust, and I could break it.
Break the dust.
We'll break the container, and then swallow the dust.
I mean, if you just swallow the dust, it's gonna swirl around in whatever space it is you have.
Hey, look, I mean, I appreciate the game master. Like, Tris just made a stupid idea. Like, just that.
Anytime you ever reach inside yourself to bring something out, it'll be covered in dust.
Oh, that's probably a bad idea. Right, Atlas? Is that a bad idea?
It sounds like it might be a bad idea.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So.
Generally, Tris, I think perhaps you ought to be a bit more discerning in what you're letting inside of your body and what not.
You are what you eat. Or
But I don't
contain.
eat.
You are what you contain.
I'm a singing sword and a bunch of owlbear feathers?
I mean, that's part of who you are.
That's spoons.
So, we go to the kitchen and get a jar. We go to Chesterling and we show him the cauldron. We get him to take us to wherever he has his stuff. We talk through the cauldron, and while we're doing that, we switch Tris with Lohi. Tris stays whichever room that is.
No. Lohi's just gonna be Lohi, because what I'll do is I'll just be smoke. I'll just be invisible smoke.
Invisible smoke?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could be invisible smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I can be as corporeal or non-corporeal as I wish. And part of being extremely non-corporeal would be that I shouldn't be able to be seen. Or I could just kind of be like a little dust cloud that's on someone's pants, and then I could just slither away with it.
I'm trying to figure out if at any point in our adventures that could have been useful.
I will,
or-
as answer for both of you, I'll say that you
Yeah.
can't be completely invisible if you don't
Right.
take it as an ability. So you still
could
are
be,
going to
like,
be
You could
visible.
be inside like a waistcoat pocket.
I could just be an ant.
That's true.
And our ants very quick. I could be a spider or a cockroach. Cockroaches are hard to kill. What would it be? A Yalpelor?
Why are you cutting the cock?
Rochalor?
Rochalor.
God.
Right. Why? I don't see why you couldn't just like hide in a pocket. But I agree that you should come out as an insect.
I will pick the insect then. But okay, so you're gonna stuff me? Oh, are you gonna stuff me like I was a pocket square into your pocket?
I could very easily do that, yeah.
I could be a pocket square and then you could just drop me. Oops.
Right?
All right.
Okay.
I think it could just be me as a pocket square.
So,
Do you feel like we have a plan?
go ahead and tell me what the plan is again. What we're going to do.
Described it.
Well, I didn't get to the
Yeah,
end of the plan.
well,
the end of the plan is
You did not
that-
actually describe it. You had a long-winded, meandering conversation,
Okay.
and I would like somebody to describe the plan from start to finish. But also,
Wait,
It's
but then
important.
shouldn't we just find the finish, which is gonna be I get the dust and then I have to
Switch the
sneak
dust.
out and I'll just go like zoom.
definitely all that is
all of
good.
that.
Um,
But once we've done the cauldron conversation, we want him to do divination, which is going to lead him back to the divination table where he has.
Stop it. We're gonna start over anyway.
From the beginning. Okay.
Yes.
To the beginning.
Okay.
Go to the
What
kitchen.
I want you to
Yeah.
know before you start describing the plan is that I am going to give each of you, or I'm going to actually ask each of you to be, to have a role in this heist, right? To be able to name what is going to be under your responsibility. And at some point during the heist, you're going to have to be able to do that role at the time where you're supposed to do, and it's going to be at least one roll of the dice. When that happens, when you are enacting your role, when you're doing that thing that you are named as the character who's supposed to do that, you're going to get an advantage on your rolls. However, if you're doing almost anything else, you're going to get disadvantage on your rolls. So it's something that you need to know. All right?
Okay.
I might need a refresher on what that means exactly, but gotcha, I think.
Advantage and disadvantage means that you get the best of the two dice rolls.
No, I mean, but like how we define advantage or disadvantage.
So that's a new mechanic. I'm just using just for today. It's something completely new that we didn't do
okay.
before. You're gonna have. It's like you have a new
So
trait.
anything that happens that's not in the plan, we have disadvantage.
So, dude, does that make me the grease man?
Kinda. It makes you the sneaky thief.
Yeah, but the grease man like Yen from Ocean's 11.
Okay, yeah, that's you.
Grease monkey.
There are 11 oceans.
I'm so. Do we first tell you the whole every step of the plan, Itamar?
I think I'd like to hear the plan from start to finish. Yes.
Step 1:
Kitchen.
paint Loki black.
Mm-hmm.
Step 2: go to kitchen, get a jar. Step 3: go to guards, get them to take us to Chesaling. Step 4: get Chesaling to look at the cauldron, and from looking at the cauldron, hopefully he takes us to his laboratory if he has a separate room for it. He might not.
All
It
right.
might all just be in the study. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
Step 5, when we're in the room where we think the dust is,
Mm-hmm.
Chris sneaks out of my pocket square as an insect and stays in the room, then step 6 is we get him to do divination. If that's in a different room, that means we've left Triss in the room with the dust.
I see. So get him to move, to change rooms at least a couple of times until he's away from where you think the dust is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's all in one room, then we just need him to be super concentrated on the divination.
Sure.
We just have to improvise.
And then, oh no.
And then so while
There's no room for improvisation in this heist. This
Then-
must go exactly according to plan.
he does the divination, he gives us a new quest to do as the Questers of Yalpelor. And then Triss does whatever Triss just said involving Zoom to get out with the dirt dust. And then
Alright.
we all leave and we meet up with Marigold outside of the palace.
So if there's an open window, I'm gonna not do Triss for the moment. If there's an open window, Triss is gonna jump, because that's something Triss can do.
So
But if the window is not open, then Triss is just gonna go right
No.
under a door jamb of some sort.
what
and just
I'm
escape.
what I'm fuzzy on right now is just the replacing the dust. The plan is to leave something behind that will make Chesterling think that the dust is still there.
So
It's gonna be like 5% Grebel dust and 95% stable dust.
Right. So you're collecting dust. Oh, when you'll have the jar, you'll be collecting dust.
Oh, we have like a bag. I have stones in a bag, so I feel like we could probably fill the bag with dust and then.
All right. So you just have a handful of. You kind of know what this dust looks like, Grebel. It's very fine gray dust. Doesn't look special. So just collecting the right kind of dust is very easy. You can do this right now. Great. That's pretty good. I like that plan. What is the role of each of you in the plan?
I'm the getaway driver.
Getaway driver, yeah.
Getaway driver? What
Does
is
that mean,
what is
Talia, that you're in charge of making sure we get Marigold out? Isn't Marigold the getaway driver?
Do you need a getaway driver? It's not
Well,
as
I
bad.
like the
Things
idea
go
that-
wrong. We need.
Well, I like
to-
the idea of the getaway driver just being the person that makes sure that everyone gets out of the palace, like one way or another.
I think that's
I-
Marigold.
It's probably Marigold, yeah.
I think
Alright.
I'm the face. I'm the one who's doing all the talking.
Yeah.
Or the
Cool.
mouth. We could just call you the mouth.
Mouth. I'll be the mouth.
The mouth is that's cool. Triss, what's your role?
I'm the grease man. Or the grease smoke. I'm the
So,
grease.
so you'll get advantage in anything that has to do with getting into places you shouldn't be in, sneaking around.
I'm gonna be so sneaky.
You're gonna be so sneaky. And Aklis, what's your role?
Taking a jar.
I mean, I guess I'll be the muscle, although I really hope it doesn't come to that.
Mm-hmm. The muscle. All right, and we hope it doesn't come to that. Cool. Yeah.
I hope I don't have to do anything.
Well, to be fair, the muscle is also about intimidating, right? Like,
Yeah,
if
but I don't want
Atlas
to
gets...
intimidate Chesterling necessarily.
It definitely could be used for intimidation as well. Yes.
Wait.
Might need to, intimidate a cook.
Yeah.
Hey, let's gather some dust and paint a dragon. Thing.
Right.
Dragon thing.
Not dust, black
I'll
polish.
polish.
Yeah. Well, no, we gather dust for the Grebel dust mix, and we gather the polish for the Loki paint.
I'll go find dust.
Okay.
Okay.
I will start smearing. Well, actually, maybe Triss, you better. Can you? No, I guess you can't because you're all smoke. I guess I'll have to paint.
Well, I could probably paint. I just did it. Oh. No,
Right.
I can hold things. I touch things and they touch back. It'll be fine. Low key.
Right, I'll go dust hunting then.
All right. So the preparation includes two things: you're gathering dust and you're painting Lohi black.
Yeah. And I'm telling Loki, you're gonna stay on Atlas. You're gonna be very comfortable. It's gonna feel really good. Don't talk to Chesterling. He's a bad Chesterling. He's He's very grumpy. We don't want to have a conversation. It's not very nice. But it's fun because you're going to be silent. You're going to be mean. You're going to stay right there on Atlas. Atlas, you have to make sure that Loki is comfortable. Do you have some Loki snacks?
I'm not sure what Loki eats.
Loki likes jerky.
I have cookies. Oh, I have rabbit meat.
Oh.
Oh, perfect.
That's actually perfect.
I think you could probably give him a little bit, like put some on your shoulder, and then he can stay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of grabbing. Holy crap.
Yeah.
All right.
Dry
Yeah.
rabbit meat is
It's
impressive.
a lot of rabbit meat. Hasn't it gone bad by now? It's been like a week.
Well, no, but
now.
it's jerky.
I don't
isn't
know. The game master hasn't told me anything about it.
The game master forgot, so the things in our inventories go bad. Game master.
Oh, I mean, I never promised to remember what you have in your inventory. Well, I guess if you still have it, it means that at some point you cooked it into something that's more preservable.
It's like a log of rabbit.
Okay.
Comfy
Cool.
rabbit. Love it.
So yeah, Lohi definitely. I mean, Lohi's yours. It's so you decide if he reacts positively to being painted black. As far as I'm concerned, you just
Why
say.
wouldn't he?
I feel like it's just the sheer amount of talking and the petting. Like it just feels like petting. I feel like Loki probably enjoys it. He probably snaps a little bit at Triss when Triss tries to go under a wing. But other than that,
Cool.
do I need to roll something to see how well I paint Loki?
Nope. Rolls, even for things you do now, are gonna happen later. You don't know how well you did yet. It might not even require a roll, but if it comes to this, it'll be later.
Exciting.
Great.
Cool.
Atlas, are you gonna go to the kitchen while I'm gathering dust and just take a jar?
Of course. Why not? It's not like I'm going to be very conspicuous in the kitchens.
Would you like to gather dust and I go?
Oh yes, that's probably a better idea.
Okay.
All right. So Grebel, you go to the kitchen.
Yes.
Is it really beautifully smelling in the kitchen? I'm very interested to know how Grebel would react to being in a very well stocked kitchen.
So they're making dinner just now, and the kitchen is quite crowded. You notice that a lot of the staff in this palace is made out of sheeple, which are bipedal sheep with hands and can manipulate stuff, but they're very sheepy in their look, actually covered in wool. You recognize that a lot of the other staff are wearing wool clothes, very high quality, comfortable wool clothes. That you look back and forth between them. Obviously, they're made out of the same wool,
That's kind of horrifying.
They work there. I don't know. You can stop and ask them if you want to, but that's what
It's
you
like
see.
someone walking around wearing a skin suit.
Well, I mean, the sheep stay alive. You shear the wool. But other than that, yeah, sure. They're cooking and they're not paying you too much attention because you're not big and you don't seem completely out of place. They're not recognizing you yet. And you can walk around pretty freely. What do you do?
I look for a jar.
So there's definitely jars there. Do you want to tell me where the nearest jar is?
The nearest jar is next to the oven.
So there's smells of fresh baked bread that's just being baked right now, probably almost ready, because it smells perfect when it just starts getting that little slight, just burnt aroma around the fresh smell of the bread, which signals that it's got this beautiful crust around it. The counter next to the oven is where they're preparing the rest of the sides for the dinner. There's a lot of fresh cut vegetables, a lot of slices of cheese and meat, all kinds of sausage that they're going to serve next to the bread, and there's smells of cooking, of things actually being cooked, like meaty stew, soup, roast chickens, but it's coming from different rooms. It smells so good that it's mouth-watering, even here where you are, in this room. But it's like a whole kitchen complex, so you don't see all of it at the same time. What kind of jar is it?
It's a jar that used to have flour in it.
Cool. So it's still lined with a little bit of, like in the bottom, the corner is lined with a little bit of flour, but it's almost completely empty. When you get closer, the head chef of this part of the kitchen, the baker, looks at you and suddenly notices that you're there and you're not part of the staff. They're not saying anything yet. They're just wondering what you're after. There's lots of staff in the palace. You can be there for any reason.
So he's looking straight at me?
Yeah, kind of wondering.
Okay, well then I just walk up and I pick up the jar and I turn and start walking away.
All right. So he motions to you. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, right. Sorry, did you need this?
We're using that.
Oh, do you have another empty one? I gotta be quick. Will Arthur will get very mad at me.
Oh, why will Arthur?
Well, I broke one of his jars, you see.
Aha. There's recognition and understanding in his face and some kind of fear. Roll charisma with advantage, because you're telling a very believable story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Even though, me personally, I think Will Arthur is a silly boo-boo face.
Yeah, definitely. He actually opens a cupboard above the oven and gives you a nice clean jar, slightly warm from the oven, from the warmth of the oven wafting up through the air. Yeah, you have your jar. And he says, "Go right away. Go right away."
Thank you so much. If I can help out with like any meteorology to repay you, I will. And then I rush straight off.
All right. He really doesn't know what to say to that, so you go away before he can respond. Yeah, you're back. You have your dust, your jar, and Lohi is painted black.
Woohoo!
This is going so well already.
We should probably get Marigold ready to move, just in case we're rushing out of the palace.
Right. Does Marigold have like a saddle or... No, we've never ridden her, actually.
No.
That's true.
He's a cart horse.
That's true.
So perhaps just if we have like any saddle bags or stuff, just get everything ready.
So you even walking next to where some saddles are being like, there's some saddles that are ready to be placed on horses on hangers. Even just walking next to them, you can feel Transformer and Shabbard humming and buzzing, probably talking with each other about Marigold and about you and about that saddle and about how cool she would be with a saddle and you riding the saddle. But you don't go for the saddles. They're disappointed. You can feel.
Oh no! I wanna talk to them for a sec.
So you draw.
I draw Transformer, and I look at both the sword and the scabbard.
Yeah.
And I say, hello. Listen for a sec.
A mighty steed.
Right, but in a moment we're going to do a heist. I don't know if you've ever heisted before, but it
sounds like being sneaky when we could charge and murder.
Consider that option. Yes. Listen to what it has to say.
I mean, that's a very good idea, but now we're not trying to murder anyone. We're trying to steal something. And
murder?
We'll murder someone later.
What? Have you considered killing whoever it is and then taking what you need off their corpse?
Oh, but
later.
Alive.
Plunder.
Looting.
Anyway, the reason I brought you out is I wanted to ask you to, during the heist, perhaps try to be a bit quieter, not mumble so much, because we don't want to get caught.
Is it canon that everyone can hear the sword and
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Who can.
No. It's been said that you cannot.
Right.
Can't
It's
hear.
literally
Only-
just
only-
Atlas. So
Yeah.
we've heard Atlas having conversations with their swords and going, what is going on?
I think Triss has had conversations with Shluza, so
Right.
it feels pretty normal. That being said, I don't know if Shluza talks back.
Right, exactly.
So, okay, you ask them to be quieter. They'll be quiet, and you
Thank
put
you.
Transformer back.
Yeah, it's very much appreciated. Appreciated.
Yes, but later remember to run.
I also like it that all three of us spoke, so there were three voices. Where does the third voice come
Oh
from?
no! So
Guilty.
one of the voices was Shabard,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then one of the voices was the Morning Star.
The morning
I was the
The
Morning
Morning Star talks now? Also speaks?
I think weapons
It's been getting
weapons that spend a long time around Transformers start to develop.
yeah,
Transformer
seriously.
is like a bit of a bad influence.
Like Transformer, it's one of those things where they all start going on at the same wavelength. But that's also why they only say one word at a
Oh
time.
my god,
At
you
some,
got
at
the
some
Morning
point,
Star.
the
to
pitchfork
speak.
that Atlas got from Durs is going to start talking as well.
Oh
She's
lord.
gonna say things like D.
Oh god. Alright. I let's say I accept
add
it.
to
I
Atlas'
don't know.
description and a talking armory.
I promise nothing.
See, there is certainly growth, at least in the weaponry department.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of.
We've also never established the fact that you now have a sword, a pitchfork, morning, like just hanging about your person.
I actually have, let me tell you, I have 2 pitchforks, because I also had one before. I have a quarterstaff, I have Transformer, I have my Morning Star, I have 2 stiletto daggers, and bullets.
Alright. Note to self, let's do a scene where somebody asks you to take off all your weapons.
Please.
Just to get that cliche out of the way.
I love those.
But
Alright.
also, we have to wonder, like, what will Atlas not take off?
Mm-hmm. All right. We're wondering that all throughout the show up till now. I think you're ready to start the action. Oh, actually, you said that you're preparing Marigold, so you're not attaching her to your cart, which is around. You're just putting some saddlebags and preparing her.
We need the cart.
So you are.
Probably just lead her. Also,
Okay.
Gravel,
Right? Yeah?
so did you want to tuck me in to be your pocket square?
Yes, please. Come on in.
so what is gonna happen is that Triss's eyes they look a little bit like polka dots. So all you see is like a little bit of the way because Triss just keeps trying to see into the pocket. But then
Wonderful.
the smoke is sort of like fabricy. But then every so often, one of Triss's eyes will just kind of wander up.
So it's like a black triangle popping out of the pocket with 2 half circles, 2 white half circles, just barely peeking outside of the pocket.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Sneaky.
Yeah, very sneaky. That's true. And you're off. It's 2 of you walking around. Triss is a tiny little pocket, and you mark a use of your mimic ability, right?
Yes.
And Loki is on Atlas' shoulder.
Yeah. All right.
And before we leave, I tell him very sternly, do not poop on me. I look him in the eye, and I say, do not poop on me.
Do you give him like a little nugget of the gratitude?
No, I feel like that would increase the
Likelihood.
Engineer
Yeah,
effect.
it's true.
Yeah.
All right. Where to from now? And where to now? Yeah.
Chesterling's room?
We
Okay.
should try and find the guard in front of Chesterling.
Can't we just go to his room? We're like buddies now.
Oh, yeah, true.
So to his study, where you were visitors plenty of times before. Yeah, the way there is very easy to you. The stables are as a quite a smelly building. Not in the central part of the palace. It's like a whole separate structure, like a whole other wing, much newer wing of the palace, which houses a lot of servant quarters, the kitchens that you were just in, Grubble, some guards' quarters. There's a few like of the newer wings, which are much less fancy and more like practical little buildings surrounding the palace, and they're all like connected. They have like hallways connecting them into the central area of the palace. Walking through these hallways, these corridors, it's very clear that you're passing the threshold, passing the line between the new and the old part of the castle. Instead of plaster covering the walls, there's now smooth carved stones, hundreds and hundreds of years old, maybe even many hundreds, who were placed there by very advanced masonry technique and technology by which people build castles and palaces, and still do build castles and palaces that are supposed to survive for a long, long time. Even though it's all made of these big blocks of stone, everything is very well lit. There's large, narrow, tall windows every few feet that shed a lot of light into the hallways, and from the courtyards outside you can already see that they're placing lanterns up on poles which provide a lot of light that comes in through these windows and lights the hallways. There's drapes lining up the walls, making sure that the place feels welcoming, with different sigils and just art that are is appropriate to such a formal place as this. Pretty soon you're walking in the hallways that are used by the officials, such as Chesterling, the most important one, except for the Queen herself, and probably dignitaries who come visit, diplomats and princes from other kingdoms. Whenever they come visit, they're walking the same hallways as you do, and you cross a few of these halls. You know the way exactly to Chesterling's room, and you're there. It's one floor above the ground. You need to go up one flight of stairs, and a few servants on your way look at you quizzically, still not recognizing you because your faces are still not very famous, connected to your new title and your new reputation in the city. So they're mainly wondering what you're doing there. Let's have a charisma roll by Grubble, I guess, because you're the face. I want you, before you roll, don't roll yet, tell me, what do you do in order to not rouse suspicion?
Well, we already know the way, so I imagine we're just walking very purposefully directly to the location. We're not, Atlas and I aren't talking to each other. We're just like striding confidently and at a decent speed down the corridor.
All right, cool. So, yeah, you're just exude an air of confidence. You know exactly where you're going, and you don't need anybody's help. That is a very good way to make people leave you alone, really, and not think about you too much. Roll charisma with advantage. Yep, you definitely make it. You notice as you see their heads turn away from you, noting what they saw. They don't forget you, but thinking, hey, sometimes people walk around here and I don't know about it. I'm just a servant or a guard or whatever. I don't know about everything important that goes on in this castle. It's probably some nobleman and their bodyguard or something like that who's going to meet someone from the Queen's staff. And yeah, you're there. You're standing in front of the double doors leading into his study.
I turn to Agnes. Should we knock to them?
Oh, I believe so, yes.
Should you do the honors?
Would I knock? I try not to make it too loud because I'm aware of my strength, you know.
Very carefully knock on the door, producing exactly the right kind of confident knocking sound to get Chesterling's attention or whoever is on the other side of the door. I mean, a few seconds pass and nobody responds. Do you do anything else?
What do you think?
That's
Agnes?
strange.
Should we just open the door?
That seems like a very bad idea. Perhaps we should
Let's knock again first.
or ask a guard if Chesterling is even in the castle.
Well, he can't have gone far. He just came back into EMAG.
Then again, if we ask someone, they might remember us, and
I mean,
Don't we want someone to remember us and we should be telling them?
not right now.
Sorry.
Grubble, roll intelligence, please, and you do not get advantage.
oh.
You notice too late that a spell has been cast on you. It's a divination spell which acts as a peephole from the door. Like normal doors have peepholes, this one does not. Chesterling just casts a spell and can see and hear who's standing on the other side of the door. He's there and he's been listening to you for a few seconds.
I just think, you know, if Chesterling wants to see us, he'd want to see us.
Right, perhaps we better wait. Is there, Ithamel, is there like a waiting area or just a bench we can sit on nearby?
Not a bench here. If you go back down downstairs, there's a large room connecting to most of the other chambers on the ground floor, which has some seating areas around it. Probably guests are kept there while they're waiting for their audience.
Well, you know, I think we really need to get this mission from Chesterling, the divination, and I think, you know, this incredibly powerful cauldron we've got could be hugely helpful to him, but I suppose we find a guard.
There's a shuffle behind the door and it opens. One of the two doors opens into the room and Chesterling stands there. He's a little ruffled. His hair, like clothes and hair, like everything like a little bit unkempt, and there's some ink staining his right hand. He
we might have interrupted mid-coitus.
looks at you. He looks at you.
You can see the little like white polka dots just move slightly just to be like.
Kind of surprised and focuses on you, Grubble, and says, "Oh, go Grumble. Yes, I'm sorry. You did knock."
Oh, well, no, Atlas knocked.
Yes. Oh, okay, good. Very well. Did you require anything right now? I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Oh, well, two things actually. Firstly, we've got an incredibly powerful magical cauldron from a witch.
All right.
We were hoping you could, you know, we thought you might be able to use it. I don't know, for your...
Or tell us what it does.
Yes, of course. I would love to help you investigate. Is it urgent for now?
Well, I guess it doesn't have to be immediate, but we're here.
Good.
The other thing is we were kind of hoping you could give us a new quest.
So
Divination magic.
you have given thought to what I told you earlier today.
Oh, absolutely we have. And actually we wanted to discuss that with you in more detail.
Yes, yes, we should
And
definitely
perhaps
discuss
in
it.
a more private manner.
We
Yes.
had some concerns.
Good, good, good. And he opens the door and invites you in. His study, the table has been pushed all the way to the back wall. It's right against the wall. And the floor is full of papers. He's drawing a huge diagram on the ground. Triss, roll intelligence. Triss, definitely, yes.
This is my diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get advantage because it looks like my diagram?
I mean, if you look at the dice roll, it doesn't actually matter if you have advantage because you made it anyway. You rolled a 2.
Oh, I did just barely.
Yeah, you rolled a 2, and that's the success. You do yeah, it's the same diagram that you swiped from his the same chart that you swiped from his table a while ago. He's redrawing it. It's a bit different. It seems to have been updated in some way. He's drawing it in chalk on the floor, on the stone floor, and also there's a lot of pages. Like pages are strewn all over the room. Many of them are connected, like just lying next to each other to create like bigger sheets of paper. And with ink, he's been sketching stuff on these pieces of paper, probably sketching before he's drawing the diagram actually on the floor. He's inviting you in, and he motions you to be careful and not not step on any of the lines on the floor.
Triss is vibrating in your pocket, Matt, like or in Grubbles' pocket, just like vibrating, but you can't say anything because it's supposed to be sweet.
Yeah.
Right, Atlas, I agree. I don't think we should step on a magic circle. That could be problematic.
Yes, very bad idea. You should completely avoid stepping on any of these runes, circles, lines. Please actually stand right here. And he's motioning to one of the open areas that remain inside the diagram. One of those large trapezoid shape that's a few meters across. You just stand on. And he's like standing awkwardly there with you, facing you. What were you talking about? A cauldron or something?
Oh yes, we've come across, in our travels, we've come across a powerful witch. And we defeated her because she was doing very bad things to very poor animals. And then we stole her cauldron. And now we don't know what the cauldron does, but it seems to be a very powerful magical item.
Well, if she was a criminal or an evildoer, you didn't steal her cauldron. You dispatched her and you acquired the cauldron lawfully.
Right, we've confiscated it.
Yes, that's what questers do, after all, isn't it?
Yes, that's us.
Pretty good. You're gonna have to start speaking the right language if you are to be what I want you to be. So, yes, produce the cauldron, please.
I take out the cauldron that's been in my bag the whole time, I don't know. And I put it on, is there a table?
So, the table is like 8 meters away and 15 lines between you and it, so you have to be quite careful if you want to walk.
It seems reasonable to try and lure him over to the table so that Triss can...
But we don't know where the dust is. The dust might be on the table.
No, someone has to get the dust into the open.
I want to take a look around. Do I see a dust?
Yeah, likewise.
This room is not particularly clean, so there's like dust around, but if you want to see dust in a container, how about you roll, like looking carefully at something and trying to notice detail is more intelligence.
Sounds like strength to me.
More intelligence than wisdom. And you roll with disadvantage because it's very, very outside of your role in this.
But Grubble's doing the same thing, right?
So,
Can I
intelligence
try
or
as well?
wisdom?
Grubble?
Yeah, Grubble said he was also gonna try.
Alright, so you're helping them. Atlas, you roll.
Does that mean that the chaos sound goes down?
Nope.
I know.
Wait, so intelligence or wisdom?
Intelligence. In your case, it doesn't really matter, actually, does it?
Yeah, but...
Yeah, you want to click the right. So yeah, you don't see anything on the table that seems like the dust that was left behind.
All right. So I just take out the cauldron and I make like a big show of like, where do I put it?
All right. Hold it for a second. Just hold it, and he motions for you to just like reach out a little bit so he can reach the cauldron.
Okay.
He walks over. He's again not extremely old, but an older guy. Quite skinny and not extremely tall. And he walks forward and he examines this cauldron and he says, yes, it is a powerful artifact. Definitely, it seems to be connected to transmutation spells, changing things from one thing to another, especially living things, animal parts, I would say. Yes. Yeah. So while he's looking and talking, Gribble.
So I want to see, because the worst case scenario is if he's got the actual dust on him. So while he's looking, I want to be looking at him, all around him, to see if I can see. So I saw him take it, so I should have a sense of
You're
how
checking
big.
him out.
I'm checking him out, looking for bulges.
Perfect.
I know just how big the bulge will be.
Yeah. How big and where it's pointed. Go ahead. Roll.
Yep, no comment.
Again, intelligence, I guess.
Tris is helping.
Wow, you made it. It's a regular success. It's not a critical success because
Right.
you definitely don't have advantage on that roll, and even with the help of Triss.
On looking for bulges?
To be fair, I don't think Grandma needs help looking for a bowl.
Is
No.
that not
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
Rebel is
Rebel
a specialist at?
It's true. It's
Yeah, I was
true.
gonna say.
It's been very
Also,
successful.
Grubble is like academically educated. I think he knows everything about bulges.
All right.
Read a lot of books.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like Grubble is bi at this point, which means that any whether female or male bulge can always be investigated.
Yeah. It's
A
true.
bulge is a bulge.
A bulge is a bulge, and it's
God.
bulgy.
So a success, a regular success. Still, I wasn't convinced.
Fair enough.
Well, it's kind of too loose, his robe. It's kind of hard to see all the pockets and what is inside them, and if something is loading one of them. In fact, it's quite clear that part of the reason his robe is a little bit undone and hanging crooked and a bit. No, I mean not undone in this way, but it's still he's very well covered. He's wearing an under robe and some pants and stuff. But the robe that he has on top is all crooked and wrinkly. He's been working leaning on the floor all day, or for a few hours at least, and he's been sketching and drawing and being very concentrated, and it's kind of hard to see where things are, but you do kind of notice that he's very absent-minded about his own person because of the mental effort he's put into this work that he's done today. So you're gonna have advantage on further rolls to try to look for or grab things that are on him in the future.
So I don't know, but I think.
You don't know at all if this is on him, but you definitely see that he's his robe has lots of pockets and is loaded with things.
Many bulges.
Too many bulges.
Yeah.
Too many bulges.
It's bulging.
No problem.
It is bulging all over.
Okay, so I'm wondering though, is from an intelligence standpoint, in terms of knowing Chesterling, or at least his MO at this point, do we think that it's likely that, oh god, I actually caught a mosquito, that's really scary. Sorry. Do we actually think that it would be on his person, genuinely?
We couldn't see it around the room, so it seems the most likely.
But he has other rooms.
We've never seen him in another room.
That's true.
Let's take it.
There are no other rooms.
Let's take it in character from now on. If you want to say something, either say it as Triss
Oh, but
or.
we don't know what to talk.
That's true. So yeah, he still is talking about how interesting this thing is, probably to do with animal parts, and he ends his little walk that he's taking inside his head, trying to gather detail from what he's noticing, with saying that he's not going to be able to research it very thoroughly here.
I don't know. Atlas, would you be interested in selling it?
Oh, I don't know. I guess it's supposed. I guess it depends on what it does.
Oh, well, I would be glad to acquire it from you.
Right, but I want to know what it does before I decide whether to sell it or not.
It's gonna be your charisma roll, which is gonna be a disadvantage unless Grubble's the one convincing Chesterling.
I kind of want Atlas to be temporarily center of attention, so I can signal Triss to come out of the pocket.
Wait, you want what? Atlas to what happened? What happened to them?
So I've got Triss in my pocket, and we need Triss to start investigating the robe.
Yeah.
So if I'm not helping and Chesterling's just looking at Atlas, I can pull my pocket square out without being noticed.
Oh, so that you can do while they're talking, because he's talking to them now.
Yes.
Okay. Roll dexterity, and I will make it Triss's dexterity roll, because Triss is the one doing the maneuvering here, and after all, you're the grease man of sorts
So
of this operation, so you have advantage. Yeah. Yep.
Not neat. So
you.
can I describe what happens?
Yeah, of course.
So I think Grubble sort of like casually and maybe like wipes Triss on his face
Yep.
a little bit, just like trying to, and then just sort of like you just drop a Kleenex and Triss
the
just
back.
like, yeah, exactly, just sort of, and Triss drops, and then there's just like a little scuttling, just like, and just goes right underneath one of the pieces of paper.
All right. Yeah, you're totally flat. You can just flutter right in there.
That being said, do you think while Grubble was rubbing Triss on his face, Triss would have had time to whisper something?
Sure. Yeah.
It's the same diagram as the endemics.
Okay, that's interesting.
Triss is under a piece of paper.
Yeah, well, to ascertain what it does completely, we would need to go up to the observatory. I guess we can do that now.
Yes, we can go right now. I'm not busy.
Yes? No, all right then. Yes, so let us wait for me a couple of minutes outside the room in the hallway.
Oh, of course.
The trouble.
Very good.
Observatory. I've never been there before. What do you have there?
Oh well, it's a very interesting place. It has a magnificent view of the entire city and a lot of the areas surrounding it. And of course, there is the observatory itself. You can look up and out and see very distant things, distant in place and sometimes even in time.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yes. Okay. So he again leads you above the lines on the floor so that you can you can steer clear of them on the way out. While that is happening, Triss.
So one of the things I was supposed to be doing was investigating the bulges in Chesterling. So does my from the bottom looking up view give me a better understanding of what might hide behind that?
You maneuvered so that he walks right over you and you get a full view. So again, he's not going commando. He's very well covered, but you do see where the pockets are on the inside of the robe, and I mean, I don't know. How would you know if what you're looking for is in there? Because it's pockets with things in them. How would you know what's inside? I don't know if you have the senses.
Triss is trying. This is a new ability. But one of the things that happened that you described in the fight with the doppelgangers, the double bangers, whatever they were called, the double bangers, was the feeling of extreme chaos, and that even the sand, even the dust, even when they fell apart, like Triss could feel like that magnetic, the magnetism of the chaos. And I think it's not just dirt that's in that jar.
Wait, not
and
just
I think Triss
dirt?
might be able to feel parts of the chaotic Triss that might also have landed in that jar.
So is that ability a chaos sense?
I think it's a chaos sense.
Chaos sense. I love that. I think that could work. Now, the thing is, using abilities and or spells you don't yet have is a chaotic act on its own, in itself. Which means it'll be a budge, like one more in the chaos.
No, but then if I do that, then it's Ted, isn't it?
It gets to 13. It gets to the maximum, and then you also roll on the chaos table.
Wait. Can I use one of my existing abilities?
To do what?
Can I use my empathic understanding to sense the chaos that might be around Chesterling and decide, and find out if that sense of chaos is even on Chesterling?
Of course. So you use, empathic, your empathy is to sense emotions.
Yeah.
The dust doesn't have emotions, but you open up and you let whatever is closest to
Let
you.
the universe in.
Yeah, like you let yourself take in background emotions like a sponge taking in water. And the closest thing to you is Chesterling, and he is full of all kinds of feelings, thoughts, and desires. And you
Desires, you say?
Bulges, even?
You notice two things that are very, very clear, very strong with him right now. So the first thing is that he is very not exactly worried, but unsure. Like he's very apprehensive about and kind of questioning what Grubble, which he thinks is called Grumble, and all of you, like the group of you, which way you're going to go. And he now, you notice that he's taking you very, very seriously. He wants you to take what he considers to be the right path, and he's still not completely sure that what Grubble just told him is for real. That's the one thing that you notice is on his mind right now, the most thing on his mind. The second thing you notice is that he is absolutely terrified of this appearance of chaos, sudden appearance in the form of these four figures, the things that happened with the poet, everything that you got yourself involved in, and the fact that you're servants of chaos. And the diagram that he's painting on the floor is kind of part of that, in a way that you still don't understand, because it doesn't seem to be related directly right now. So he's absolutely terrified of that, and that dust that he collected is part of the research that he's doing. Unfortunately, none of these point to where the dust is located.
But does so that being said, and there's the emotional part, but I can also see up him, and if he's thinking, so to speak, and if he's really thinking about being terrified and being worried about the dust, I feel like a normal reaction might be to finger the thing that you are most worried about. So where are his hands?
So is he fingering one of the bulges, is what you're asking?
Because if he's not, then Triss is going to assume that it's not on Chesterling.
You're right. His mind would be focused on a specific part of his body, like a pocket somewhere, and it's not. He's not thinking about anything important on his person. It's definitely not something that's all the heavy things lining the inside of his robe. None of them are on his mind.
So then Triss is gonna continue to hide under the piece of paper, which I'm pretty sure Chesterling just stepped on, to be perfectly realistic.
Maybe you did.
There was a little bit of
a squish. All right.
But Triss is gonna stay in the room when Chesterling takes Gretel and Aklis out and locks the door.
All right. He stays inside. He stays inside for a couple more minutes. He asks for some time inside
he
the
asked
room.
us to. Okay, so
Which means you are...
Just stay sneaky.
Yeah, the two of you are outside the door and he's inside.
I'm gonna just, as we're outside, I'm just gonna turn to Aklis and put my finger over my lips. Because I hadn't
And Triss,
managed.
you're...
I hadn't managed to show to Aklis earlier. He can hear us outside the door, so all I've done is this.
Yep. Chesterling looks around him, seems confused all of a sudden, like the kind of look you get when you enter a room and you kind of forgot why you went there in the first place. And it takes him a few seconds, but then he goes like, ah, and he walks towards his table, lifting, where he goes through the busier parts of the diagram. He lifts the hem of his robe and he like walks lightly between the lines, almost skipping on the way to the table, and then he arranges a stack of papers there, quite clearly to cover something up, just to put some, like, to cover something with a stack of papers, moving it from one side of the table to the other. He walks back. He lifts a piece of chalk and completes the rune that he was in the middle of inside one of the circles in the diagram, just to make sure that he doesn't forget later. Consults the ink on the piece of paper next to it, kind of compares it, and then walks outside. And now he really locks the door. When he walks out of the room, he locks the door behind him, and then he's with the two of you. Let's
And
be
then
with...
you just hear... Bum, 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 bum.
Why would you hear that? That's copyrighted.
The
Hello.
Gretel and Aklis. Gretel and Aklis, he's there with you. He places the key in one of his inside pockets in the robe, and then he turns to you and he says, "All right. By the way, where is Dirt?"
Dirt left? This was the other thing we wanted to talk to you about. We're down to 3.
3. He looks at Lohi and points and has like a questioning look on his face.
Oh, that's Triss. They're working out new abilities to be more like a dragonling.
I see. Well, seems useful. Yes. All right. So he left, you say, and he starts walking while he's asking you to explain. Do you tell the true story of what Dirt told you, except for the dust, of course, but all the rest of him going away to become a god and blah blah blah?
Yeah.
Let's just say he has some family issues to attend to.
So that's all you say.
He's... Yeah, well... So family things is a big part of it. I'm not sure how comfortable he would be with us telling him, but it's all, he'll be back at some point.
Grumble?
Yes?
We must start trusting each other if we are to cooperate.
I know, but it's not my story to tell, is it?
Yeah, roll charisma with advantage, of course.
Of course.
He mumbles a little bit. He's not very happy about not knowing something important happening that he doesn't know about. That you get the sense that it doesn't even matter what it is. If it's something that seems to be important to the person he's talking to and he doesn't know it, it makes him unhappy.
I think one thing I could tell you is if when we do see Dirt again, he will be much stronger. He's getting training.
All right. He doesn't. It doesn't improve his mood. Okay. So he leads you up the stairs and into the higher flights of the castle. This is the first time you're there, and you see where dignified guests, the quarters of dignified guests, one of the rooms is just being cleaned. It's an empty room. You see inside, it's a huge suite with a very expansive, I was really trying to say he doesn't grumble, chat. I was really trying to avoid using that word, by the way. So nice noticing. Sorry. The room is it's huge, and it's just one of like a suite of several rooms where the most important guests are staying. Some of the the higher up, the staff of the castle are there. One thing you don't notice is anything looking like a royal family. Like there's no one, no prince, princess, family. The queen, like the mother and father of the queen, if they're still like anyone anyone from the royal family. There's nowhere that they live there. In fact, the most fancy rooms are the ones enjoyed by Chesterling and the other higher ups, like the captain, like the captain of the royal guard, and the chaplain, and people who hold like the highest offices.
As far as we know, the Queen of Emag lives in the palace.
Yes, that is her palace,
Mysterioso.
or she rules from. Yes. All right.
He for sure killed them.
And you go up. In fact, at some point, obviously, you're walking up towards the throne room. It's like a very wide stone stairs with a carpet, an embroidered carpet with deep crimson and gold colors covering most of it. You go up. You feel like you've been invited to the most important place in the kingdom, but of course you don't go through the large set of doors into the throne room. He takes a sharp left at the top of the stairs. There's like a little flight going up to the doors. It like takes a sharp left. You see like a little door almost hidden in the wall, and he takes you to another flight of stairs going up into his chambers. This is where he actually
secrets.
This is where his like most, his most valuable hidden possessions are. Yeah, exactly, his sanctum. I think we'll start next session with what Triss is doing in Grubble's study, in Chesterling's study, and what Grubble and Aklis are experiencing when they go up into Chesterling's inner sanctum.
Prepare yourself for the lasers.
And exactly, the laser scene, yeah, exactly.
The lasers are just bits of white chalk on the floor. Triss is doing backflips over.
Can I suggest a new goal?
A new goal? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I suggest we find out what happened to the royal family.
Yeah!
Yeah! And I also suggest as a second goal to that we need to figure out what the endemic diagrams mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's open up the list of goals. Where's the goals? Ah, rules.
The rules?
Yeah.
The goals.
Okay, goals. Let's look at the goals right now. Go to Ing to meet the Queen. Go to No Man's Land. You already did that. Find a home for the living life seed that's still up. Investigate what happened in the endemic island after Triss left. Find the rest of Hemlock's armor, and finding the poet or the 4 impersonators, which is the one that you completed last week. So now 2 new goals. Find out what happened to the royal family. And what was the other one?
Endemic circle does.
Yeah. Find the purpose of the endemic diagrams. Cool. Save. Yeah, we have a list of goals already, with enough goals for the next level if you want to. Yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. I will say that for something to be a goal, it has to be like accepted by the party. So the stuff with the royal family, I still would like somebody to say something in character about it next week. Try to comment on it at some point.
Talk about it and play.
Yeah. At which point it will officially become a goal. All right, cool. Thank you very much, everyone who watched us. Thank you, my dear players. I want to say thank you for making me very proud with this plan that you've made today. We'll see what happens with this
I
next
just enjoyed painting.
Yeah. Painting Louis. Painting Louis.
Painting and then being like the little scrap of smoke that could.
Yeah.
I have used so many abilities in the last day.
You have? Oh, you're probably almost completely out.
No, I'm not.
No?
Really
Oh,
not.
okay.
Not even close.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. We will see you again next week. There's going to be exciting news. Something that was supposed to happen this week, but was just postponed, so it'll remain a mystery and will be announced next week. And so until then, we're going to be here as usual Saturday night at 9 p.m. Israel time, and next Monday 9 p.m. Israel time. Do the math about all the other time. You Google when it is.
It is an hour later.
Yeah, until the next time we see each other, play hard and stay safe. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.